Hi everybody and happy August. I am very excited that it is August because in just a few short days I am going to be heading to Brooklyn to go to hopefully the first annual Yoseka Stationery Fest in Greenpoint, Brooklyn. You may know my good friend Vanessa, otherwise known as the Pen Gangsta. She is flying into Boston on Monday and we are going to hang out in Boston and here in my hometown for a day or two, and then we are getting up bright and early on Wednesday and driving to Brooklyn, which is about 4 hours from where I live. I'm thinking about doing like a weekly check-in video because I always feel like there are little incidental things in my stationery life and fountain pens and things I pick up or artwork I've done that I want to share with you, but it doesn't necessarily warrant its own video. But I figure if I collect all those thoughts and things I want to share with you in a week's time, I can share that with you in a check-in video. The main thing I'm going to talk about today are my plans for Stationery Fest. I am there for all 3 days. I bought a 3-day pass. I also want to talk about the fact that No-Buy July is over. We went out to New York. Oh, I saw Billy Joel's last show at Madison Square Garden from his 10-year residency, and we took a walk to the Strand Bookstore. And so I picked up a few things there, and then on our way home we stopped at the Woodbury Luxury Outlets and there was a Montblanc outlet. I picked something up there that I will show to you, and I will show you what I got at the Strand at the end of the video. But for starters, I want to talk about Stationery Fest. So I have been a longtime fan of Yoseka Stationery, and one of the things that I love most is the sense of community I get every time I watch one of their catching up videos or visit their store. Daisy and Neil are the owners and their shop is in Greenpoint, New York, in Brooklyn. I went out there in December of 2022, I believe was my first visit, and I got the Yoseka Refresh pen. I love that every year they have a word for the year. They set their goals and they just are incredible. It amazes me what they get accomplished. And this year, their word for the year is community. Stationery Fest is going to be the epitome of this stationery and pen community gathering together. I think what is going to set Stationery Fest apart from a typical pen show is this sense of community with all of the workshops going on and the fact that it's just not about pens. There's so much stationery that's going to be here, and that's something I'm super excited about because I actually got into fountain pens through the planner community. I think what's really important when you go to pen shows is that you have a game plan, and I am very guilty of doing a lot of things impulsively, which I'm sure I'll do at Stationery Fest as well. But I'm not the best at budgeting my time, and that's why I feel so lucky that I have 3 days here. My first pen show was the Orlando Pen Show, which I went to last September. I had the weekend pass, so we started on a Thursday night, and I think I was there Friday, Saturday. Stationery Fest goes Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, August 7th, 8th, and 9th. Sadly, I did not get into any of the workshops. They have over 3,000 people registered for this event. I really think that because the DC Pen Show is just days before Stationery Fest, Stationery Fest is probably getting a lot of their people who are coming overseas anyways to go to the DC Pen Show who can just travel a few hours north and get to Stationery Fest. I made the decision to get a refund on my DC Pen Show ticket and then go to Brooklyn because I can drive there. I don't have to fly, and it's just super exciting to me that this is something so different. So as I was saying, sadly, I did not get into any of the workshops, but I think I'm okay. It'll be really nice to have the flexibility to walk back to our hotel, to go grab lunch. There are thrift stores in the area. Brooklyn is just so hip, and I love Greenpoint. To me, this is even more than Stationery Fest. My son lives in Hoboken. My daughter's gonna be driving with Vanessa and I, and she's gonna go stay with Anthony for a couple days. So I just love New York, and I'm excited to be here. So Daisy and Neil have put up on their Stationery Fest website a map of all of the exhibitors who are going to be there. They have one space for like the marketplace where you can shop, and then there's another space for everybody taking workshops, and then their store will also be open. Another great thing if you're worried about things selling out is that you can order products through Yoseka Stationery on their website and choose in-store pickup so that you can go into their shop. If you've never been, you have to check it out. It's such a great place. I have a feeling it's going to be packed over the course of 3 days. Hopefully you will be able to hop in there and get what you need. So I'm planning on placing placing an order online for some of the stuff that I know I want, that I just don't want to have to like hunt for, that Yoseka carries. One of the things I would love to get is their engineer bag from the Superior Labor. I missed the first wave of sales, and I don't know if they're going to restock their online engineer bags that they have, but this is the same size. It's the petite engineer bag. I have this black one from the Superior Labor and I absolutely love it, so I don't really need another one, but this is the petite one from the Superior Labor. I keep all of my traveler's notebooks in here. This is a notebook that I'm copying something from. So these are all of my traveler's notebooks. I have this Starbucks Reserve in the traditional size that I got when I was in Japan. I also got this Traveler's Train notebook from Tokyo Station. Also, when I was in Japan, this my husband bought for me in Japan the year before. It's just the standard black. And then I recently ordered the olive. I don't know where I got this from. Maybe I got this at Yoseka, or maybe I ordered this from Atlas. I've been working in different inserts and I have little projects going on, but I feel like I'm really getting into my traveler's notebooks, and I feel like it took me a very long time to find a rhythm with these, but I'm getting there and I'm very excited. Yoseka's bag is $150, which is a little bit more expensive than these typically cost because it's customized and it's limited edition for Stationery Fest. If I don't get it, I'll be okay, but it is something I would like to pick up because I find that this is such a great storage bag for my traveler's notebooks. And these, I have my smaller notebooks in here as well. There's also like a little leather pouch here. I have a full review on this on my channel. One of the things from Yoseka that I did purchase in the past was their Superior Labor Yoseka pen roll. So I decided that I was going to bring this to Stationery Fest and include in here some of the pens that I want to have worked on. This is my Visconti Homo Sapien that I had worked on by Matthew Chen when I was in the Netherlands at the Dutch Pen Show. He did a cursive italic on this, or an italic grind. And I like it a lot, but I have noticed that when I write on the diagonal, it is skipping, which was an issue for this before. I'm pretty certain I was one of Matthew's very last customers of the day at the pen show. And he did the grind and he went right to work. He did exactly what I asked for. And then he handed it back to me and I wrote with it, and I gave him no feedback. Like literally there was zero back and forth, which is really, really rare when you're getting a custom grind. Usually, I mean, I wrote with it and it wrote beautifully. I was like, yeah, this is great. But I felt like I should have spent a little more time because there are a few things that I would like changed. So it feels very, very sharp when I write. And like I said, on the diagonal, sometimes it skips. I'm hoping that Matthew will be able to just tune this, just touch it up a little bit, and I want to reach out to him. I'm hoping I don't have to pay again. I'm definitely bringing this to get worked on. Then I thought it would be really fun to have a special nib grind on my Yoseka home pen. This is a medium nib, which I really love, but it feels pretty broad for a sailor pen. I'm used to that medium fine nib. So I think what I would like is to have this ground down to a cursive smooth italic and get it back to that medium fine line width, but with a cursive smooth italic. I think that would be just beautiful for this. I would love it if I could get an appointment with CY. There will be so many Nibmeisters here. I'm hoping that over the course of the 3 days, I'll be able to get an appointment because I did not get any appointments ahead of time. We'll see about that, but I'm definitely bringing my Yoseka home pen for a special nib grind, and I might identify one other pen. Oh, the other pen that I think I want to have worked on is my Pelikan M800 in the brown black. My Pelikan M800 has a fine nib, and my Renaissance Brown in the M1000 that I recently got also has a fine nib. They are different nibs. You know, that M1000 nib is ginormous, but I don't really want to mess with that nib. It's so soft. It's such a beautiful writer. I thought maybe the M800 would be a fun one to get done in a cursive smooth italic or like a mini stub. I really love the way a thin stub nib writes for everyday writing. I really like how it makes my handwriting look. So that is a thought. Then I have a list of the vendors who I really want to visit. Number one on my list is Helen from Coffee Monsters Co. I feel like she has been such an inspiration to me with my planning, and she introduced me to Hobonichis. She also introduced me to fountain pens, which I give her a lot of credit because these are things that bring me so much joy. My planning, my journaling, and my fountain pens. So I feel like I just want to say thank you to Helen in person. She's such a sweetheart. I'm so happy that she's coming down from Canada to this event. So I would love to visit her. Superior Labor is going to be there. I love all their stuff, and I feel like Superior Labor items sell out all the time on all of the websites who carry their things. So I just want to be there in person and look at what they have to offer. The Superior Labor's craftsmanship is just so incredibly beautiful. I just want to see all that they have to offer. I did not visit their store specifically when I was in Japan, so I'm so happy that they'll be there. I definitely want to visit their table. Hachimonjiya is also going to be there. You'll see a theme. There's a lot of Japanese-based stores who will be at Stationery Fest that I don't want to miss. And Hachimonjiya is one of those stores that has a lot of exclusive pens that sell out really fast, and then they end up being quite expensive on the secondary market. I don't know that they'll have anything special for Stationery Fest, like an exclusive pen. I doubt it, but I would like to see their table and just see if they have anything special from Japan. Toyuka Craft is definitely a stop that I want to make. They were at the Dutch Pen Show, but I knew they were coming to New York, so if I bought anything big, I wouldn't have to take it home in a plane. I could just put it in my car. I actually think I just want a tray. I really wanted to get one of their like 40 or 100 pen boxes. However, I got something that is really working for me at TJ Maxx Home Goods. I think they're meant for jewelry, but they're velvet lined boxes with drawers that come out, and I've put inside some of the pen trays that I already had from Pen Industries, Penn Industries, where you just buy the insert. So I don't really think that I need a whole case, but I would like to have a pretty display tray for when I do my videos, when I'm comparing pens, if I'm doing currently inked. I think it would be really nice to have a tray. Also, Fountain Pendulum is going to be there from Canada, and I've had a credit with her for a while and I haven't used it, so I'd love to see some of her stuff in person. Definitely want to make a purchase from Fountain Pendulum at the show. I was so happy to see this next shop on the list for Stationery Fest. I have not reviewed this pen yet. I haven't talked about this, but this was a pen that I purchased when I was in London at the store Choosing Keeping. They had a small selection of pens from this maker, and I really loved this material. They did have celluloid, and there was a tortoise celluloid pen that I was leaning towards, but I thought a lot of companies offer a tortoise pen. Like, I've been eyeing the one from Esterbrook. I love the tortoise pen from Platinum, the 3776 series. But I've never seen material like this. Onishi Seisakusho, I'm sure I'm not saying that right. This is the Black Forest Acetate Cellulose pen, and this is a material, I believe the material is from France. But I love all of the colors in this pen, and it's very lightweight. I tend to like chunkier pens, but when they're light enough and I can post them, they just feel very portable, like something I can throw in my bag. This was priced in line for what you would pay for, say, an Esterbrook SD. And I just thought that the material was so unique. And this shop is going to be at Stationery Fest, so I definitely want to stop by, because Choosing Keeping is more like a stationery shop, and they had a case with fountain pens in it. So this was just a line that they carried in the shop, but I'm definitely excited to visit this booth at Stationery Fest. I have a list of a few pens that I'd like to try if I happen to walk by them. One is the Mag Flex, and I know my friend Vanessa has a Mag 600, so I might just ask her to bring it and try hers in case they don't have it. SD DuPont is also going to be there. SD DuPont is one of those pen companies that has expensive pens, but I do see them go on sale sometimes, but I've never held them, and my concern is that they might be heavy. I feel like they do very well in European countries, and I don't think they're as big in the United States, so I would like to just try a pen and see what I think. I know Sailor's gonna be there. I've been thinking about a King of Pens. I don't think I will buy one, but I would like to try a King of Pen. I have my Montblanc 149, and I now have a Pelikan M1000, and I feel like the King of Pens would kind of round off those like larger flagship pens from all of these different brands. So I'd like to try one in person. I would like to try the Aurora Volterra. That is actually something that is available at Atlas, and I've been thinking about saving my credit to get that pen over there. So I definitely would not buy it at the show, but I would like to try it if somebody has it. And lastly, there is a Visconti Homo sapien that I'm not gonna buy. I'm not gonna buy it. I just want to see it. And that is the Iris Garden. I'm not typically a purple person, but there's something about that pen that I think is just beautiful. So I would like to see it in person and just, you know, take it for a spin. This is one of the few times that I don't have a ton of pens I'm pining for. I got my Jane Austen pen for my birthday. I got the M1000 using my credit at Atlas. Those were both really significant pens to add to my collection. This item was on back order at Appelboom, but I did end up ordering the Pro Gear Slim in the green color from the Japanese Sweets line, the Sailor line. It's almost like a khaki green with like light pink finial, and it's absolutely beautiful. I had a little bit of store credit there. I was also able to use a code to get 10% off. So I ordered it, but it's not in. I have no idea when it's coming in. So I have that pen to look forward to. I'm sure I'll come home with a pen or two, but I just had that small list of pens that I would like to try out. I'm just trying to keep some sort of a focus because when there are so many vendors at the marketplace, I just feel like I'm going to get very overwhelmed. So I think it's good to have an idea of things I want to look at. I'm also planning on bringing cash. I just think that would be easy, and I think sometimes when I bring cash, it just keeps me more honest than like swiping the credit card. Keeps me more in check with a budget. So that's going to be the bulk of how I pay for most of my things that day. I'm thinking about bringing some ink samples with me just to share, or if there happens to be some sort of an ink swap going on. I'm not involved in any formal meetups. Vanessa and I will probably go to dinner. I think we're just planning to keep everything open so that we can be spontaneous. Also, if there seems to be a good place for Vanessa and I to broadcast live for Juicy Broads, we will probably do that at some point. I know Vanessa always does her Instagram live walkthrough, so I'm sure she'll do that. But if we have time to do a little Juicy Broads broadcast, that would be really fun. Daisy said that Brad from the Pen Addict is going to do a panel, and I think he's going to be interviewing a bunch of the vendors there. So that seems like it's being taken care of. So I think it's going to be really fun. Let me know in the comments if you plan to go to Stationery Fest, and let me know what is on the top of your wish list or just something that you are really looking forward to doing. I'm really planning to journal a lot. Oh, one thing I did want to talk about is I plan on bringing my Yoseka Traveler's Notebook insert with me. I saw this in my friend Julia's video when she was prepping for Stationery Fest, and I thought it was such a great idea. I've literally been saving this for a rainy day, and I always bring my Traveler's Notebooks with me when I go to pen shows, but typically I have kept them in this passport size. So this is my one from Florida. So my first Orlando pen show, I kept my little name tag in there. And then I visited Kirk Spear at Pen Realm. This was the first time I had a nib grind. He has all of his nib grinds in TWSBIs, and you can test them out. So I tested them out and I ended up getting a Waverly. But it's really fun to look back. That's where I got my Montblanc 149, which was vintage. And then more recently, when I went to the Dutch Pen Show, remember that beautiful mushroom leather notebook that I got? I also got these little inserts for the passport size. So I decided to use this insert for my Dutch Pen Show. In here, I just swatched all of the inks that I ended up getting. P.W. Ackerman, and what else is in here? Oh, this was from Choosing Keeping. When I went to that store, I still need to add things to this, but I did my swatches in here, and I have some of the ephemera from the Dutch Pen Show. Shanghai Stationery, I met those folks when I was there. So this has typically been my pen show inserts, and that's why I love Traveler's Notebooks, because you can do like project-based things like this. I imagine through the years I will go to a lot of pen shows, and then I will end up, you know, probably archiving some of these initial ones. But Traveler's Notebook is really nice if you have like a small vacation or project-based idea, and that's how I'm finding I am kind of getting into my rhythm with Traveler's Notebooks. So even though I've done them traditionally in the passport size I think it's just a great opportunity to make this a really special notebook for my time in Brooklyn. So I do plan on doing like some daily journaling in here, and I'll also try to include in here, because this is, I feel like there are a lot of pages in this notebook. I'll get a lot more in detail on this because it's a vacation in Brooklyn as well, and I will just make this my little Brooklyn 3-day adventure at the Stationery Fest, and restaurants we go to, coffee shops, and all that. I'm going to include it all in here. So I'm very excited about that. Now that it's August, I can share with you some of my newly acquired things that I didn't want to share in July because I felt bad. Aside from my birthday pens, which was the Cancer model from Zodiac Pens that Jay ordered for me, and the Jane Austen pen, there were no pens acquired outside of that, which is a good thing. But speaking of my mushroom journal, on our way back from seeing Billy Joel and also going to the Strand, I'll show you what I got at the Strand. We stopped at the Montblanc outlet in Woodbury, New York. I had no idea that it was only like 15 minutes off of our normal path home from New York. This was such a great outlet. They had all the big designer brands. They had a Gucci outlet, a Dior outlet, Mulberry. I was really excited to see Mulberry, Montblanc, all the big names. They were not your typical outlets. Anyway, I went into Montblanc to look for inks because I was looking for Toffee Brown, because I think they're discontinuing Toffee Brown, and it's just one of their standard $25 inks, and it actually wasn't even on sale at the outlet, but I don't know that it's readily available in a lot of places. I could be wrong, but I just wanted to stop and see what they had for inks. I've had a thing for Montblanc inks lately, and Montblanc in general. I'm in a bit of a Montblanc phase since I got my pen. So they had this beautiful red, it's like a clutch, but I feel like I can use it as a pen case. So this beautiful clutch was 70% off. It was normally, I don't know if it's in here, we ended up paying $160. They had one small section that had discounted items, and this was there, and it was so clearly, to me, the most beautiful piece that they had in the sales section. It was also the most feminine. When I got this from Sharkcraft, Vanessa got this beautiful red pen case. It was almost like an alligator pattern. It was this shiny red and gorgeous, and I thought, man, I probably should have gotten my pen case. Then when I saw this, they're pretty close. I mean, this has a little bit of a shinier finish, but I can definitely work these together. You know, mushrooms and Montblanc, why not? I love this so much, and what I really enjoy about it is that you can fit a notebook inside as well as some pens. There's a little pocket in there. I could fit my phone in here. I don't think that A5 fits, but my B6 notebook from Sterling Ink does fit. So you can fit a B6 in here. This is a Weeks from Hobonichi. That fits in here no problem. One of the things that I want to look for, now that I'm talking about it, Eculin Leather, are just the trays of pens like this. Like, so often I just want something like this, not even the case, that I can throw 4 pens in and toss it into something like this and be on my way. I think this is such a beautiful clutch. It was 70% off. It has a detachable strap here, and it's just so classy, and I absolutely loved it. In a lot of cases, I use my notebook covers and small leather goods, much like I do a handbag, and I swap them out depending on what bag I'm using. I thought this was beautiful. So I got the Toffee Brown, and I got this. And then at the Strand, I didn't get any pen stuff, but I did get a physical copy of Pride and Prejudice, and this is the Penguin fabric covered edition, and they have all of the Jane Austen books that you can get with like a different pattern. This is just so beautiful. I felt like this was a book that I wanted a physical copy of. I was looking for an illustrated version, but the Strand did not have it, and I didn't want to order it on Amazon. I'm thinking that, you know, if I start getting physical books of special novels, I want to get them when I'm traveling. I don't want to just order them on Amazon, because I typically read most of my stuff on my Kindle or I listen to it on Audible, but I really wanted to have a copy of Pride and Prejudice. I've been really loving this. I think the next Jane Austen book that I'm going to read is Persuasion. I've heard great things about that. Let me know your favorite Jane Austen book in the comments, because I'm definitely down the Jane Austen rabbit hole these days. I also picked up just a little sticker from the Strand to put in one of my notebooks, and I got this little pin to put on my engineer bag that I just showed. I like these little pins. Sometimes I collect these and just put them on my little canvas bag. That's all. So that's it. That's my little check-in for this week. I hope you're all having a wonderful week. I'm so very excited for Stationery Fest. I plan on doing a lot of journaling, a lot of socializing, some shopping, and just generally enjoying my time in Brooklyn. I think it's going to be a really special event. So I hope to see you there, and I will talk to you soon. If you enjoyed today's video and you like content about pens and journaling and notebooks and planning and all that fun stuff, be sure to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate you. I'll see you soon in a new video. Bye.